Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 141st episode of the Voluntary Viewing podcast, recorded on April 26th, 2021. On the podcast today, we have the hardest working man in sports entertainment, Ryan Holtz.
And I find value at Farm and Fleet.
What?
It's an ad campaign for Farm and Fleet. Hi, I'm in a weird place right now. Hi, everyone.
That?
I thought that was the ad. Hi, I'm in a weird place right now, and I find value at Farm and Fleet.
No, it's the hardest working people in America find value at Farm and Fleet.
I just imagine that it's confused shoppers that are like not at the best point in their lives. Like, hi, I'm going through a rough time, and I find value at Farm and Fleet.
I don't just shop at Farm and Fleet. I find value at Farm and Fleet. This has value.
I recently lost someone close to me, and I find value at Farm and Fleet.
Yeah, it's not even like they're getting good deals. They're like confirming their existence at Farm and Fleet. Like they're like, I have value. I'm a person.
Hi, I'm currently confirming how alive I feel. I find value at Farm and Fleet. I was not doing great. I'm going to be honest. I first went into this Farm and Fleet to buy a gun to do some not great stuff with it, but it was just so emotionally reassuring in this environment that first steps in turning my life around, I feel like.
The first time I ever saw we've been X amount of days without a workplace accident sign was at the local Farm and Fleet. And it was too low to have that sign up. Like it was like not a tiny amount of days, but it was like 68 days, and it's like that's not. I don't know if you get to brag about a couple months of no accidents. I don't know.
Well, it's not to brag because at some point it is going to say 0 days.
Take it down, right? Take it down until it gets into like the 500 range, where it's like, it's been a long time.
At least don't have it in like the
where the customers check out.
Yeah,
it's like literally
put it in the break room or where people punch their cards or something. Yeah. Jesus Christ.
No, it was supposed to be a sign that they outwardly brag about, and they fucked it up, and then just said, all right, well, we'll just leave it. So at one point, I'm assuming it was out there saying, it's been 2 days since we've had a workplace accident.
Yeah, and everyone there, so long as that number is under, I'm going to say 30, everyone near the checkout is getting it. So, what happened a month ago? What? Is everyone okay?
Yeah. Well, in theory, at some point, you're going to be checking out. You're going to be, buying your bulk bird seed, and you're going to look over and see an employee shuffling along with a dead look in his eyes, and he's going to erase the number of days that's on the side and draw a big fat 0.
Yeah, that was someone's last act before they quit their job at Farm and Fleet, was just cathartically erasing that number that had haunted them all their entire tenure.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Kenneth, and today we lost someone good.
Yeah. I picture it's like Hot Fuzz, where the town was like, oh, we're the best town in the world because our police is so great, and nothing bad ever happens, but it's because they're covering up all the bad shit. So this employee has been railing against the powers that be at Farm and Fleet for years, and then the climax of the movie is he kills the boss who's been suppressing all these accidents, and just with equipment at the Farm and Fleet, and just gets up there, erases it, draws a big old goose egg, and then walks out with his hands on his head, and just Jesus Christ. That's the end of my Farm and Fleet biopic.
We could write it.
That's what I picture.
And that we also includes, hold on, let me make sure I have this right. Okay, the recount is in, and we have the newly elected mayor of Suplex City, Andrew Clark.
You, on the other end, listening to this podcast, can't understand what I'm doing, but I'm about to climb up to the top ropes, and I'm gonna drop the fucking hammer on all of you. You won't know what hit you.
The people's elbow is incoming.
Also, kind of a weird coincidence. Right before I hopped on the podcast, I watched the second Steve-O Hot Ones interview. Steve-O is great. Listening to him in interviews, like Steve-O is a very like reflective, deep person who is just juxtaposed to what Steve-O has done with his life. But he was talking about like the worst concussions he's gotten, and he said basically like, well, Jackass 4 is coming out, and that was my worst concussion, so I'm going to let people see that. But my second worst concussion was he went on like a WWE guest thing, and he fought a WWE wrestler whose theme was he was like a Samoan, just a 400-pound dude who, dropped off the top rope and hit him, and it hurt so bad. And the idea in professional wrestling is that as long as you play dead, then the fight is over. But Steve-O was getting hurt so bad that he couldn't, so he was rolling around and basically screaming in pain. And this wrestler took offense to that so much that he just started beating the shit out of him for real. And he was beaten into a blackout. He was pummeled with this dude's fists into the ground until he just passed out and woke up like 5 minutes later. And that seems like it shouldn't happen.
I don't know. Are you sure that was in the WWE or that was like just some weird sideshow promotion thing?
Vince McMahon was there.
I mean, that means you can find the clip. Like, if it's WWE, that's online somewhere.
Yeah.
Like, you can find the wrestler who did this to him. You can find all sorts of stuff. But.
And then last, but certainly not least, is me, Lucas DeRuyter, a man who is always in kayfabe.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, will we ever see behind the mask?
This is just my face. This is just like a... Wait, did Leatherface like have a face under the mask, or was it like sewn on?
He had a face. I think he was injured. I think he had like a disfigured face.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
What was Leatherface's voice like?
I don't think he talked.
Never?
No.
Did they have flashbacks of Leatherface Jr.?
I think there is a Texas Chainsaw Massacre origin movie.
Of course there is.
But like, and so I think in that movie his face gets burned or something, and that's when he cuts someone's face off and makes a mask out of it. I hated Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The original. That movie made me sick to my fucking stomach.
I'm sorry, the original?
I thought I was going to vomit. The original.
Okay.
The one that's supposedly good. I saw it in college at the college theater, and I thought I was going to throw up.
I mean, some would say that's what makes it a great horror movie.
Yeah, it's very uncomfortable. And it's very gross.
Yeah, some people like that, though.
Yeah, this is not me passing judgment on the quality of the movie. I have my opinions on the quality of the movie, but this is not me passing judgment on it. I'm just saying it made me sick. So, I don't like it.
I will say the late 2000s remake sequel we watched in, I think, like a camper because a girl wanted to watch it, and we're not going to say no to that. That was not very good. That was a bad movie. Hot takes.
The girl wanted to see it, and
y'all
simps went out to the middle of the woods to watch a horror movie in a camper.
Yeah, a friend of mine tried to hook me up with a friend of his that he knew from like summer, not summer camp. That's the wrong way to put it, but like Like, they had, like, a campground, like a camper ground that his family would go to, and he knew a girl there, and he tried to set me up. Lucas came along with me.
Wingman.
And my friend was like, oh, yeah, like, and she'll set him up with one of her friends, which didn't work out.
I met all of her friends.
Like,
Let's
watch a movie. I'm like, it's a nice day. We could, like, go swimming or play volleyball or any of that shit. She's like, no, movie. Texas Chainsaw Massacre in a camper and a small TV with like 4 other people.
Mm-hmm.
Was that like a nudge thing that you missed out on? I don't know. Feels weird that she was insistent on watching a movie during a camping thing.
Yeah,
it was in the middle of the day, too. I pictured it like at night, at least.
No, this was like 4 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Nothing like watching a shitty horror remake at 4 p.m. on a campground in a camper with a lot of people around a small TV. That just screams like a good time to me.
It might have been...
It didn't last.
The good times, or
the relationship?
Oh, there was a relationship that came out of this.
There were a few more dates.
Jesus Christ!
There were a couple.
That would have been dates 1 through infinity for me. God damn.
There were 2 more dates. One of them was just hanging out, and that was okay. And the second date was meeting up at the movies, and instead of seeing whatever rom-com that my suggestion was, I don't remember what, we saw Transformers 4, which remains to this day the worst movie I've ever seen. And also one of the longest.
Yeah, is that the one where they go to the Smithsonian and like there's like... I don't even remember.
No, that's...
Is it... Really?
There's like 3 movies worth of movie in that movie.
Is that... I'm trying to remember if that's the one that Ian saw. Where he was like, this movie just drags, and it's like the longest thing in the world.
I thought 2 is where they went to the...
I want to say New Moon, but isn't that Twilight?
Yeah, that's Twilight.
Yeah, that's Twilight. It was the one with Mark Wahlberg in it.
Oh,
I think that might have been the one Ian saw.
Fuck. Was that also the one with Anthony Hopkins?
No, I think that was a later one. This one had dinosaurs in it for like the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, I think that's the one Ian saw for sure.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and say that I think there's a non-zero chance that this girl was just misguided in wanting to like appeal to you as a guy and was like, ooh, he'll like this horror movie and this like dumb... You can't even call Transformers an action movie because it's like a... It's more just like a CGI shit show. Like,
yeah. I would say that is not a bad theory, except I was effusive in how much I told her I did not want to do any of those things.
I think there's a lot of internalized oppression going on of like the, like, oh, you know, like, you, in order to stick out and be not like the other girls, you're going to have to be basically a guy for a while to like hook him in or whatever the fuck, you know? Like, I think that goes on no matter what you would say.
I mean, at any point did it cross your mind, oh, she picked an intentionally bad movie so that we would just like make out the entire time?
I can tell you for a fact that wasn't it.
Oh.
Does that mean that you tried and failed, or what does that even mean?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Buddy.
Mission failed. We'll get him next time.
Yeah, no, because I'm like, okay, this movie's awful. At least I get to make out with this girl in the movie theater. No.
Oh.
Nope.
Oh, no.
I'm watching the movie.
Did you ever like look to her for like was she like enthralled by either of those 2 movies?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Yeah, then I guess my theory is not great.
Because afterwards, we went to Culver's, and I said, that's one of the worst movies I've ever seen. And she defended the shit out of it.
Fuck.
What was your criticisms, and what were her responses?
the movie dragged on. There was like 4 different times that I thought we were reaching the climax of the movie, and it just kept going on. The performances were really bad. The plot didn't make any sense.
What'd you have to say?
Sorry. Oh, just disagreed. I thought. I
thought it was great.
Yeah. I thought they did a good job. Mark Wahlberg did. He was good. Mark Wahlberg's a good actor.
You said a few more dates, though. It sounds like there's...
Yeah, after the campground, there were 2 more dates. One where we just hung out and watched Insidious, I think.
Wow. She really... Insidious, though, is by far the best of those 3.
Yeah, Insidious. I liked Insidious.
Yeah, Insidious is apparently a decent horror movie.
And then Transformers. No more dates after that. I was like, you know what?
I vaguely recall... Wait, was Insidious the time where we were all over at her house? I was definitely at this girl's house, met her parents and her bad friends. Yeah.
Did I go over to her house twice? I did.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. One where
we have a lost tape.
one where we all hung out, and then one where it was just me and her watching Insidious, and yeah.
What'd you do when you hung out? You play Monopoly or some shit?
Yeah. Sure.
Speed rules.
Speed rules.
That was very evasive. What'd you do?
I don't want to get into this.
Oh. No, like with Lucas and everyone else. What'd you guys do?
Okay. Never mind.
No, I didn't say. What did you guys, Andrew? What'd you and her do? No, I was saying like what the big group, because you decided, we all went and hung out at her house. I was like, well, what'd you do?
I think we played volleyball.
Yeah.
For like hours.
And then we hung out
for that long.
Talked. She tried to get us to play some kind of Xbox Connect game, but we weren't having that. And I think her dad kicked us off the TV so he could watch. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and the dad, yeah, he's like, all right, no more Xbox. Daddy's got to watch the Masters or something.
No, it was either Hannity or who's the guy before O'Reilly? No. That's not it.
It's all coming back.
Holy shit, you guys.
Yeah, this
is a gold mine.
This was a bad era.
It was.
Holy fuck, man.
Yeah.
This woman, I'm curious how she turned out, because it feels like she was on the wrong side of culture at every turn. Like she's like a big fan of the Kinect, like loves the artistic integrity of the Transformers series, like kind of prefers the reboots to the originals. Like she's just like at every turn consistently picking the wrong side of culture. It's pretty wild. If she had a Kinect back then, assumedly she had a 360, which I think most people can agree was like the winner of that generation of the console wars. But like she picked like the worst part of the 360 to be like a fan of. Oh my god. That's impressive.
While we're on the topic of old movies and Xboxes, I just want to say real quick that I saw Spirited Away for the first time this weekend on an original Xbox.
Oh.
That you had to slap to open.
Jesus.
So in SD, because there's no way that thing...
Yeah,
I'll put it into HD.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because it was the only DVD player around, or why on the Xbox?
So they said, because we wanted to watch the movie on a specific TV. I was hanging out with Jade and her sister this weekend, taking care of her parents' dog while they were out of town. And they wanted to watch Spirited Away. And they wanted to watch it on the big TV in the family room. But there wasn't a DVD player there. There was, for some reason, an original Xbox that they used as a DVD player. Until halfway through the movie, I realized there is another DVD player. It's just on the other side of the TV. And how did nobody notice this? This is your house. How did you not know there was a DVD player there?
Wait, so this was the big TV. Was it like a flat screen? Like a...
Yeah.
Yeah, like an HD TV.
Yeah, it was a nice TV.
Was there another TV though that had like also like it was somewhat decent size or not really?
There was like a significantly smaller TV, not a small TV, but like it wasn't the big TV.
But with an HD DVD player, or
I'm sure.
Because that would have been the deal breaker for me. Just like, I mean, yeah, I'll watch it on a smaller screen. If I can watch it in HD, like, I don't remember the last thing I watched in SD in my life.
I suggested that we, go watch it on the other DVD player in the other room. And as a group, me included, we decided it would be better for the experience if we watched it on this original Xbox.
Oh, just for the memes?
Yeah, just for the memes.
Just to say that we watched Spirited Away.
Because we were on the ground wheezing, trying to open up this fucking 20-year-old piece of hardware.
I still have mine back at home, unless it's gone, which it very well might be. But last time I tried, it played some games.
Hey!
The disc reader was not completely broken. It was only mostly broken.
Granted, I haven't seen it since I was maybe 11, but Spirited Away is kind of a fucked up movie.
Oh, yeah.
Spirited Away's good, though.
Yeah.
Movie.
I enjoyed it. There were some parts where it's just like, whoa! That's uncomfortable.
They are terrible to that child. I mean, granted, she's kind of a shit at the start of it, but she's going through a lot. There's a move happening, but like,
she's a kid.
They put that kid through the ringer.
What came to her. Yeah.
And we deserve to mosey on into News of the Week. Jeff Kaplan, Papa Jeff, perhaps best known for his Overwatch updates, leaves Blizzard.
When I hear Papa Jeff, I think of Papa Bless, which is a weird deep cut into like, Papa John's memery. But interesting. Was this a where does this guy fit on the Reggie scale of
Oh, he wishes he was Reggie.
Okay, so he's like shitty Reggie, like people kind of liked him but nowhere even close to our beloved.
He was the public face of what at one point was the most popular video game, and then still had a very dedicated fan base.
Right.
Overwatch was never the most popular video game. I disagree with that.
Like the year before Battle Royale really took off. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it might have been for a little bit.
No. Are you counting like League of Legends and shit? Because no.
Oh no, that doesn't count. I haven't played that game. It doesn't count.
This is a video game. Like
it has butts.
Yeah. Did you see Sombra? Like, this is a video.
Is Papa John trying to get uncanceled? I heard like he's doing weird stuff now. Well, Ryan mentioned Papa John.
Papa Bless.
Yeah.
Oh.
Right? It's not just me who heard that? Okay.
Isn't he probably like one of those conservative guys that's like, I don't believe in cancel culture, therefore I refuse to be canceled? And it's like, it's not really a you thing.
Yeah. It's like germs can't hurt me if I can't see them. It's like, well, they don't care if you can see them.
Yeah. If I don't believe in the coronavirus, then it can't hurt me. It's
kind
of the opposite, honestly. The more you rail against this, the more likely you are to succumb to it.
I think his thing was he ate like one Papa John's pizza a day for a month as like a penance or something.
No, he talked about. I remember that. That was a golden fucking interview. It was more than that, I think. No, I think they asked him how many Papa John's pizzas did you eat in the last month, and he said something insane.
I think it was 40 pizzas in 30 days.
I agree. I think it was like it was over a pizza a day. It wasn't even like a nice round number. It was like he purposely ate more than one in some days.
Yeah. So the best part of that interview is when he says that, you then realize, oh man, this guy really looks like he just ate 40 pizzas in 30 days. He's so greasy.
He's also very red. I definitely took it as like, a little bit of alcoholism going on, because he was very red and like had like those cheeks going on.
Yeah, that's the tomato sauce working its way out of his body.
I don't know if that's true. I mean, I've had points in my life where I like order I don't feel like cooking. I'm gonna order 3 Pizza Hut pizzas, and then over the next few days, like take care of them. Like in a week, eat 3 pizzas. Everyone's done that, I feel like, but
I don't think Christ. I have.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, like, okay.
I'll order a pizza, or like 2 pizzas between Jade and I, and then I'll eat the leftovers the next day. I don't think I've ever had 3 pizzas in a week.
I mean, like, I've been there though, where it's like, all right, well, I'm ordering food, and like the delivery fee isn't going to change no matter how much food I get. I might as well make 2 meals out of it, and then this is kind of affordable.
Just meal prep.
Yeah,
freeze it.
It's somewhat more affordable. Speaking of, I had a Trader Joe's frozen meal for the first time. Holy fuck!
Which one?
I had the Kung Pao chicken.
Yeah.
Holy shit! That shit was $5.
Right?
I think for, like, if you were to just buy the chicken that comes in Trader Joe's Kung Pao chicken, like that amount of chicken, it'd be $5.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like, that's
Trader Joe's is insane. No joke. I know that Trader Joe's is kind of a joke because of what they are, but like their food is not Joel.
Oh no! You want some Joel?
Trader Joe's food, fairly affordable, really good.
I would say ridiculously affordable. Like, I thought the Kung Pao chicken was good. It was like, getting there to where, like, if you had a good homemade Kung Pao, like if someone who knew what they were doing made Kung Pao chicken, it's almost to that level. And like, approaching some shitty takeout places where it's like pretty much, you wouldn't really be able to tell.
Right.
But fucking $5? What? That was like at least 2 meals. You could probably make 3 meals out of that if you had rice. Like,
oh yeah,
that's cheaper than you could do if you made it yourself, like from scratch. So I was fucking blown away.
Pretty much any frozen meal that you're going to get at Trader Joe's is like the same experience. It's really good and way cheaper than it should be.
I found a Foodist article that ranked them all from worst to best. Ooh. And I'm like, I kind of want to go from the top. And the top was, it was a shrimp one, so I didn't really like it. But they had like orange chicken was towards the top.
Orange chicken is dope.
Yeah. They had a black mushroom truffle flatbread. That was like their number 2, and I was like, that actually sounds pretty good. Like, holy shit. Chicken fried rice, which is like just a fucking classic. I'd kill for that shit. So, yeah, no, I think I'm going to be going to Trader Joe's a lot more often all of a sudden after being introduced to this goddamn concept.
If you guys want alcohol, go to Trader Joe's. $2
Chuck?
Yeah.
Legend.
I really, really like Trader Joe's bourbon. It's like surprisingly really good. It's like $15 a bottle, and it's really good. But as a work thing, a couple months back, I took like a wine experience class, like through a virtual thing, and this Portuguese wine, like he was basically like a sommelier. I don't think I'm pronouncing that right.
Sommelier, I think.
Yeah, something like that. He was just talking about like how to tell what wine is good and what's bad, and how to like figure out what wines you like. And he said, like, no joke, Trader Joe's is the best place in the planet to buy wine, because it is the same stuff that you got, like that we get over here in Europe, like where we make it, and you guys are buying it for like a quarter of the price. He's like, it doesn't make sense, but it is all very good.
Right. That was when Angel told me like this was $5. I literally didn't believe her. I was like, it's got to be at least $10. Like, I'm like, this is bona fide like 3 meals. Like, you literally, like, if you made yourself a shitty ass sandwich, it would pretty much cost the same as a third of that. Like, that's fucking wild. Like, it was a full blown meal. So yeah, I don't know. I was blown away. I don't know how that came up, but yeah, goddamn, Trader Joe's. You didn't have to go so hard.
Trader Joe's, give us money.
Make it $10 and it would still be a good value.
Maybe don't give Humble Bundle money though, because the now IGN-owned gaming storefront, famous for selling collections of heavily discounted games and letting players support charities with those purchases, caps charity proceeds to 15% per purchase.
So you get to choose how much money goes to charity?
You could previously, yeah.
So you could do 100% or like...
Yeah, that is my understanding, yeah.
So why wouldn't you all the time, every time?
Honestly, yeah, that is a good question.
Maybe you want the developers to get some money. Maybe you want the storefront to get... I mean, it's a system that shouldn't have ever worked, and it's kind of impressive that it did for so long, but yeah, no longer.
Yeah, if so inclined, people could donate all of their purchase to the selected charity.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Weird.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, they must not be profitable.
Mm.
I mean, it never made sense. It was like you could pay a penny. Like,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get how that worked, but yeah. Fair enough.
Something that also doesn't make a lot of sense. The Noid, the former Domino's mascot, until a dude held a bunch of Domino's employees hostage because he thought the Noid was based on him, is going to be in a Crash Bandicoot game and is also being used to advertise Domino's driverless delivery.
I think he thought that the Noid was the way that Domino's and like the U.S. government was communicating to him.
Oh, God.
And he was like trying to tell them to stop because his name was Noid.
Yeah.
Like his last name or shit. So yeah, I think that it was even a little bit deeper than that. Mm-hmm. That they weren't just like making fun of him. He thought that they were like trying to send him hidden messages and shit.
Right.
But yeah. No, yeah, the Noid got discontinued for a very unfathomable reason.
Yeah. Also, the Noid is a bad mascot. It is weird that they're bringing this back.
I think he was mixed reviews. I think that some people were like, yeah, whatever, he's goofy. And then some people were like, Jesus Christ, he is the most annoying thing on all TV. It's like Minions.
Yeah. Oh, fuck, that's why they're bringing it back, aren't they? Domino's was like, oh shit, Minions have been everything for the past 5 years. Time for us to finally get a piece of this pie.
Okay, when your aunt starts posting a bunch of Noid memes on Facebook, then
Andrew,
then we'll have this conversation again.
Andrew, you say that. You say that like that's not a direction our reality could go in. Nobody thought that.
Domino's press release. Did you guys read this?
No.
They said the reason why Noid's coming back. Maybe it was the chaos of 2020 that gave Noid the confidence to return, or possibly the fact that Domino's has continued to innovate around great pizza delivery with amazing technology. They said the chaos of 2020 brought back the Noid. Black Lives Matter and the death of George Floyd and the coronavirus pandemic killing millions of people around the globe brought the Noid back into existence.
Noid is sustained off of blood sacrifice.
Jesus fucking Christ.
He's like an eldritch god. Yeah, he feeds off of fear and anxiety and chaos.
And suffering.
When humanity
is the Noid the one that's planting all these anti-vaccination like fucking shit on Facebook? Holy fuck. Was the Noid behind all the anti-mask rhetoric? Did the Noid spark the Capitol riots?
I mean,
where was the Noid? We need the Noid to provide some alibis, is all I know. I'm not blaming him, but I'm going to need him to give us some evidence that he was not responsible. And then we checked the Noid's cell phone, and yeah, he's got like a fuck ton of pictures of him fucking like posing in front of statues at the Capitol and shit. And it's like, okay.
The Noid does have big QAnon energy. Don't ask me to explain that, but yeah.
Don't even at me. I'm not going to ever mention it again, but the Noid and Q Shaman share an energy force.
We got some big adding in the meme corner. The meme corner. But first, bracket memes. Bracket memes got hot for a minute.
What is this, the like the part of the joint and then the rest of the joint? Yeah. Is that what you mean by bracket? Okay.
But then it started out with the joint, and that was going around for a little bit, and then now it's everything. Now it's literally everything. And
I always thought that the bracket was like March Madness, but I see.
I don't know the actual name for it.
Right.
I'm just calling it bracket memes.
And it's like impossible to find a meme on Know Your Meme if you don't know the name of the meme. I discovered.
The stages of smoking a joint, maybe?
Possibly. Maybe just stages meme? It's the only...
sections of a joint.
Oh.
Is where you can find it.
Okay.
It was April 15th. Hot damn.
Yeah.
That's the absolute origin.
It's moved quickly.
All of my friends hate me. They think I'm annoying and weird. I will never be loved unconditionally. And then the very last, a demon is coming to kill me.
Yeah.
That was the original. That's not even the one that I saw. The one where it's like a very small portion of like, hey, this is a fun time. And then the rest of it's like, I need to go home right now.
See, so those are really funny. And then I think the one that killed me the most is the reverse of that. The first half is, oh my God, someone's watching me. A demon's coming to kill me. I'm literally going to die right now. And then the second half is, I think I'm going to watch a movie.
My favorite of the lot so far is the one of the stapler, where it is the majority, covering the majority of the stapler, like, nah, fam, that's too big. And then when there's a little staple-sized bracket, that's, yep, this is the right size to staple newspapers.
It's pretty solid. I see one that I never saw on the Know Your Meme with Les Mis. It says, okay, here we go. And then the rest, like a really small version, the rest is, I haven't seen the plot in days. Can we get back to the story, please, Hugo, for the absolute love of God? I read like the first 10 pages of Les Mis, which I bought with like Google Bucks because I wanted to read it because I loved the film adaptation. And good fucking God, it's not a book. Like it's got more in common with the Bible than a novel. Like, Jesus Christ. Like when it says like, and then John beget Judith, who beget Paul, who beget, like, and it's just fucking bullshit. Like those parts of the Bible. That's the beginning of Les Miserables. Like the part that modern authors have figured out, like you kind of hook people in a little bit. Nah. He was like immediately like, let's hit up some like fucking family trees on the first couple pages of this book. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's for some people. Definitely not for me.
Was it originally a book? I thought it was always a stage play, and that's why so much of the movie was sung. Or the entirety of the movie was sung.
I think the book was adapted into a musical, which then became, the movie.
Weird.
I'm pretty sure.
Huh.
Les Miserables. A French historical novel by Victor Hugo, first published in 1862.
And it's not told in like prose or anything, is it? Where like you could easily translate into song?
Not the parts that I read. The parts that I read were like, and so the royals escaped to this country, which then allowed them to... And it wasn't even like the king. It was like the fucking duke of some random ass place in France. Like, escaped to this country, which then the prince, and once again, not the fucking prince, like the fucking, the duchy of blah, blah, blah. He gave up his titles to become a monk in this monastery. And then the monastery became a central location where people came for help. And I'm just sitting there like, what the fuck? This isn't a book. Like, I literally... and like it's the meme is actually kind of accurate to but not in the sense. Okay, here we go is opening the book, and then it immediately starts the I haven't seen the plot in days, for the love of God, Hugo, like get on with it. Like, I don't know. I know a lot of people don't like the movie. I fucking really liked the movie, but they must have just cut out all the bullshit because it is a long book. So I don't know. There was a phase that I went through where I was like, oh, I like reading. How do I read more? Read books from movies that I've watched. And I read a lot of them, and I had a really good time, and it did kind of reignite my passion for reading a little bit for a while there. And then I think Les Mis killed it. I was like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, Ryan. I got to a point recently where I was like, I want to read more. I want to like be cultured and understand literature and the classics. And I bought Ulysses, and I read like the first 30 pages and didn't understand a fucking word of it. And I had to give it up. Yeah. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. At least not to me. Maybe to other people. But
sometimes it's too dense, man.
Yeah.
When I don't like reading when it feels like you're like cutting through like a jungle with a machete. Mm-hmm. And it's like, you gotta be fucking on point, baby. Like you gotta be Googling words and what they mean, and like then like phrases you have to like actually dissect. Like a character, like a kind of in a Shakespearean sense, but with modern literature, where a character says a line that's supposed to show how witty and intelligent they are, and you have to do like the fucking mental math for a good minute to figure out why that was a cool line. It's like, that kills me. That literally kills my enjoyment of reading, basically.
I do not bite my thumb at you, sir. But I do bite my thumb. Oh!
Yeah. And then the English teacher goes like, and that's Mercutio saying like, like I have plausible deniability, but I am saying like, go fuck yourself. Ha ha ha. Like that's, and then it's cool. Then it's fine. Everyone has a good time. But when you're just sitting there reading silently, it's like, okay, if whatever.
If you want to discuss it as a class or as like a book club, fine. I think Shakespeare, like for, how, at times nonsensical it is to, the current English language, is well positioned because it is a stage play, and so it's broken up into, sections where it's just dialogue, and you can go line by line and figure out what they're saying. When I was reading Ulysses, I felt like the points where you're driving at night, and then you realize, I haven't been paying attention to anything in the last 5 minutes. I have no idea where the hell I am.
That happens to me in all books, though, right? Like where you read like a few pages and then go like,
what?
I don't remember anything.
You realize your eyes have been open and looking at the words, and you've just been kind of somewhere else.
Yeah.
And you haven't retained any of it, and you have no idea what happened.
And you'll flip pages because your eyes are still following the words, but there's literally no words going in your brain because you're thinking about, shit, I gotta run to the bank later. And like, you're just, when you're watching a TV show, it's one thing, but like when you're reading, there's literally nothing getting through.
Before we totally lose it, I just wanted to chime in to say that whenever I think of movies that are based on books or books that are like the novel adaptations of movies, I think of the Ghostbusters book. And how it goes out of its way explicitly to say that Bill Murray's character isn't a rapist.
What?
Wait, the book that, like, the novelization of the Ghostbusters movie? Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't read any of those. I was reading books that then had movies made that I liked.
I understand. Okay.
Like The Shining and fucking Rita Hayworth and The Shawshank Redemption and... I listed 2 Stephen King examples. I don't know.
Well, there are. That's most because that was the well for a while on a lot of those. Yeah.
But then that also led me to other cool Stephen King stuff like Apt Pupil and shit like that, which is like nothing that I ever would have stumbled upon otherwise. So I mean, like it can lead you down different paths. Or like my favorite author that I can't remember now, where I read every single one of his books. Who did John Krakauer. Did Into Thin Air, Into the Wild, and then I just was like, I like these, and read every single book he's ever made. So, yeah. Including like a novella about how this guy who ran a charity went bad. Like, I read that because I was just like, I like this guy's writing. It was kind of wild. It's like, this seems like he's got serious beef. God. And I have nothing invested in the situation, but I'm kind of pulling up the popcorn. I kind of enjoy this.
God, that is the best. That is the best when you trust an author or creator enough that it's just like, Oh, they're doing a new... Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem like this.
Well, because you could tell that he was just a guy that was like, I believed in his mission, and then he just fucking lost his way. Like it got to him, the power and the influence, and it's a shithole now. And like, you know what? I'm gonna go to the Middle East and make sure he's building schools, and like then talking about like, I talked to all these people that he mentions in his talks where he's promoting the charity, and they're all saying that he's lying, and like the schools are just like empty shells that no one can use because he's not interviewing people to say like, what do you need in a school? Like I don't know. I was like, damn, you're spilling the tea, but like I'm in for it. I like this shit.
That's a fucking Arrested Development level hustle. Holy shit.
Well, because it was in like Afghanistan and shit,
yeah,
and, like, unsettled parts of Afghanistan that are like tribal lands, and in order to get to the school, which was like on top of a hill. For some fucking reason, it was like, or no, it was on the bottom of the hill, but a lot of them lived up in the hills, like a lot of the tribesmen and shit like that, and like where all the kids were. They would have to trek all the way down the mountain, and it would take like hours. So they'd end up having to live at the school if they wanted to use it, but they didn't build dorms or anything. They just built a fucking school building, and never once thought, I mean, how's anyone going to use this? Like. That was an example that he used of like, and then he went to Afghanistan and was like, yeah, this is all bullshit. Like, I don't know, it was fun.
So I don't know if it's just like the algorithm playing to me specifically, or if Know Your Meme is coming in clutch, but I'm still on the sections of a joint page, and under their latest editorial and news is a link to the other thing I put in the meme corner, which is a Twitter thread. Twitter thread went viral over the weekend. Maybe this is just like my intersection of anime and social justice Twitter, but basically an obvious Channer type made like, let's say 20 posts in a row about how he didn't like that the subtitles in the anime oh god, I forget the full name of it right now, but it's something like "Don't Toy with Me, Miss Nagatoro" or something. Used the word. Jesus. Yeah, it's weird. It's an anime for people who enjoy being stepped on, and also Channers. Yeah. Didn't like that the translator localizer used the term sus.
I did see that. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I didn't know what Twitter thread you were talking about because it's been deleted, but I did actually see that. It was on Confidently Incorrect, which is one of my favorite subreddits.
So that was the first 20 tweets. The next 60 were just filled with racist anti-black shit, transphobia, and Nazi apologism. It went fucking off the rails.
The trifecta.
Just fucking... And yeah, it's taken down now. Justifiably, because that was just... Sometimes people have the introspection to say, oh, wow, okay, I'm saying a lot of fucked up shit right now. I better dial it back. But this dude was just feeding off of the attention. This was, all right, this is my chance to get my very worst opinion to as many ears as possible. And it was like a slow motion car crash where you can't look away.
Well, I didn't know that the thread went to that place. I just remember from Confidently Incorrect where they were just like, I hate that they're using sus, and then everyone was like, no, that's dumb. Like it's been in English for a long time. Like
anyway. Also, the character's a 17-year-old girl who plays video games. Like she knows what sus. Like yeah, dumb. Dude was dumb. But we are gonna talk about some maybe dumb stuff, maybe great stuff, not totally sure yet, in the breakouts. Andrew, you actually contributed to this, and for that I thank you. What's going on with Falcon and Winter Soldier?
Well, it's done now, which is a good thing.
It was a limited series? Like there's not ever going to be a season 2?
Nope. 6 episodes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of short too. Felt like it needed to be longer.
Did you though?
Well, I mean, WandaVision was WandaVision was 8 episodes, so I thought that was
I know, but if people would read the thing that you put in our planning document, they would understand my confusion at you being like, I wish it was longer. Like,
because they rushed everything. It was the thing. It was,
okay. That was the only reason that it was quote-unquote ass? They rushed it a little bit, so it's just full-blown ass, man. This shit's...
So I think there's a bit of a delay. I'm going to quit out and rejoin. Hold on.
Okay.
Damn. Should I take over? I don't know. I didn't really...
Oh, okay.
No, never mind.
Sorry about that. Hopefully this looks a little bit better.
Okay.
So, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, like several other pieces of Marvel media, ask a lot of questions about, the state of the world and, people and that kind of stuff. And a lot of the times come to a conclusion, based on the villain that they present, or the villains, or at least the situation. And a lot of the times, the answer is basically that the villain is right, but they kill people, so nah.
It's the classic, like, this is how you make a gray villain. Like, you give them a just cause that they're fighting for, and then you just make them do it in an immoral way, which causes the conflict. Like Professor Xavier, or not Professor Xavier, Magneto. Yeah, Professor X, man, he was doing it. I mean, you could make arguments, I guess, but no, Magneto.
Yeah.
Or fucking... fuck, I don't know.
I know what you're saying, and yeah, like it's a classic trope. It's not a bad idea. How do you make an interesting villain? What if you made them the right one? But Falcon and the Winter Soldier does this a couple of different times with multiple villains.
Oh no!
And basically examines like the idea of American exceptionalism. And basically the world at large.
I thought your internet was going to be the bad one, Lucas.
Yeah, I'm dropping out a little bit.
Do we want to do an emergency clap sync just in case?
Sure.
It shouldn't make the podcast, but I just want to say quickly that time.is, they said it was golf day briefly, but then it removed it as if like some executive at time.is had it so that, no, honey, today's golf day. Like, you don't understand. And then, like, someone else was like, get the shit off here, but they didn't, like, fully get it off. I don't know.
Sweetie, it's Blowjob Thursday. It's a national holiday. What are you talking about?
Steak and blowjob day.
So a lot of bad guys who are like, man, my anarcho-socialism philosophy kind of makes me think they're actually maybe just the good guys. But, yeah.
So, the main, plot of the show, what they're trying to stop is there's a group of people who get the, super soldier serum, that made Captain America and made, Bucky into the Winter Soldier. And they're like, we're going to give it to ourselves, and we're going to use our new powers to basically stop all of these detention camps that are trying to relocate people after... the Thanos snap people came back. The world was in flux because a bunch of people that had been gone for 5 years came back to where they were. And during that time, there were no borders because governments couldn't really function, and everyone kind of came together, moved around the world, and found their place. And then all of those people got pushed out because the governments came back into existence and reestablished old borders and took away all those people's jobs because their thing was, we're going to try to put everything back exactly the way it was, despite the things that you guys fixed during this period of, whatever. And so they're like, we're going to liberate the world again. We're going to help all these people that are being forcefully relocated. We're going to give them the food and medicine that they need. We're going to fight the corrupt world governments to, try to make a better world for everybody where people can understand each other. And they're the bad guys. and at never at one point is their ideal challenged, it's always just, yeah, but you killed a guy once, so you were wrong. Except that they all end up agreeing with each other at the end. No, you guys are right. I'm still going to stop you, though, because I'm Captain America, and I have to.
Yeah, and this
is I'm the Falcon, but I'm also Captain America now.
Oh.
And
this wasn't the asshole decapitated guy with a shield, Captain America saying this. This was...
No, I'll get to that in a second. There's also the revelation that in Vietnam, there was a black Captain America that was wiped from history, that they did experiments on, and they didn't want anyone to know about him because he was black. And they're like, well, we can't let there be a black Captain America because he doesn't stand for American ideals. And he's in hiding now, and Bucky and Sam find him and basically talk to him, and he said basically there should never be a Captain America again because America fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Because America is awful. He's like, look at what they've done to black people and people that don't agree with them. He's like, if you told them that I was still alive, they'd kill me and my whole family. And they're like, the conclusion of that wasn't, no, you're wrong. It was, no, you're right. You are 1,000% right. But, like, what kind of black man would I be if I didn't try to fight for the country that my people built? And I was like, well, dude, what? Anyway.
This is big Aaron Rodgers. I'm going to take the Packers to the Super Bowl to show them how wrong they are for trying to replace me energy.
Yeah.
Well, isn't that like the popular meme that came out of the show is with Zumo or whatever the fuck his name is?
Zemo. Like, he's like, you're out of line, but he's absolutely correct.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, and that's kind of, it sounds like the theme of the entire show is the meme, which is kind of ironic. Yeah.
And Zemo's whole thing is he wants to kill the super soldiers. He wants to help them stop the super soldiers because he's saying that super soldiers breed fascism. He's like, these people will become supremacists. Doesn't matter how good their intentions are. They will eventually think that they're better than everyone else and try to subdue the world to their bidding. And his whole thing is that he hates superheroes because they're just fascists. And the conclusion to that was, yeah, no, you're once again right.
You're out of line.
But we're putting you back in prison anyway.
Well, he belongs in prison. Like, I've seen
he
Civil
does,
War.
He does.
Like, he belongs.
He's
bona fide terrorist. Like, not in the,
absolutely.
like, ooh, freedom fighter or terrorist. Like, he's an actual terrorist.
Again, the whole thing was Zemo did a bunch of bad stuff, but they did still present him as... Well, he hasn't said anything wrong this whole time.
Isn't that, like, terrorists, too? Like,
yeah.
Bona fide terrorists that, like, because, you know, the line between freedom fighter and terrorist is so blurry that it might as well not even be a line. But there's a spectrum. There are people that, there's just nothing else to call them but terrorists, who just all of their grievances are correct. Like, everything that they are mad about or, like, are fighting for is just and correct, but they are objectively only killing innocents to try to get their way. So they are nothing but terrorists.
But they never challenge his ideals in the show. They never challenge what he's doing. It was just...
They said he's out of line, so...
Well... He was talking about Marvin Gaye when that happened. That conversation was...
one time.
Sam was calling out Bucky because he's like, oh, I only listen to 40s music. And he's like, well, you have all my music recommendations that I gave you. Didn't you listen to any of them? He's like, no. He's like, well, you didn't even listen to Marvin Gaye. And what, you don't like Marvin Gaye? And he's like, no, I do. It's just not really my kind of music. And then... Zemo came in and basically like, I think we all know what that means.
I mean, yeah.
And then he's like, it completely encapsulates the African American experience, the pain and the frustration and the hope. And then he's like, well, you're out of line. You're true, but you're out of line. Going on along with all of this is they came up with a new Captain America.
Right.
Not a super soldier, just a really good soldier.
Air
just
quotes.
like a 3-time Medal of Honor winner. You know, I'm the high school quarterback who then went into the military and I Love America and all that kind of stuff.
High school quarterback because he was in 22 Jump Street.
Yes.
As the quarterback.
Yes.
He's also the son of, Kurt Russell and fucking Goldie Hawn, right?
That would explain a lot.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. It's Wyatt Russell, right?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's the son of literal Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn.
That would explain how he can jump between attractive and terrifying just by what angle the camera is hitting him. Yeah.
Because he goes crazy because he can't compete with any of these dudes because he's not a super soldier. And he eventually takes it himself, but he goes crazy because he's like, oh, these people think they're better than me. I'll show them. I'm Captain America. I'm in charge. No one respects me, but America's great and so am I. So he takes the super soldier serum, goes crazy. His friend gets killed, and then he bashes in a dude's skull with his Captain America shield in public on camera, and then gets the shield taken away. And they're like, you're no longer Captain America. And he's like, I'm always going to be Captain America. Makes his own shield out of scrap metal.
Oh, no.
Not like it's like an actual trash can lid. Basically.
It just makes a bigger target for people shooting. It's going to do nothing against bullets. So you carrying it around just presents a round target that people are used to shooting
it just slows you down. Yeah. But then he also welds all of his war medals to it to be all ooh, I was in the military and I believe in something. But then
and Julia Louis-Dreyfus was there, right?
Yeah.
That's all I know. I read a spoiler post at one point.
He immediately abouts face, and they never say anything about it again. The second to last episode ends with him welding his shield together and talking to himself and shit. He's clearly completely unhinged. And someone put in his ear as long as those people are still alive, your friend will never get justice, and that's not what America's about. And then so he goes rogue. And then when the final big battle's going on, he just shows up and he's like, I'm here to kill you. And then they fight for a little bit. And then they start to push the bad guys start to push a bus off of a bridge. And he has to choose between saving the people on the bus and killing the people that are running away. And he's slapping himself in the head, clearly doesn't know what to do. And then they show him he pulls the bus back off of the cliff, and then they're awesome. And then Bucky's hell yeah. And then they all start fighting the bad dudes together. And then they go away for a little bit, and then they show they're trying, the bad guys are trying to escape, and they're oh, the app that we're using says to meet up at this location. And they go there, and it's new shitty Captain America and Bucky Barnes. And new shitty Captain America says an old Abraham Lincoln quote about the fruit of mercy being sweeter than justice. And then they're that was corny, man. He's it's Lincoln. And then everything's cool. He's totally fine. And that's it.
He got years of comprehensive, intensive therapeutic care from bad guys running a gambit. Maybe if we push off this bus of innocent people, it'll stop him from killing us all. I like to think that they had that as a backup plan. They're maybe if we appeal to his sense of being a good guy, we can escape. And he won't fucking crush our skulls in between his index finger and his thumb. That's fun. Kudos to the bad guys there. That's a hell of a play, man. It worked out.
Oh, also one thing I forgot: the very last shot of the show before it gets into the post credits, everyone having a party thing, is Sam, new actual Captain America, goes back to the former Black Captain America who told him not to be Captain America, and he's I'm Captain America now. And he's yeah, I saw. I'm cool with it now. Good job. And he's I got something to show you, and takes him to the Captain America museum, and there's a giant exhibit dedicated to him now, He's like, oh my God, this is so great. Now they'll always remember what I did. Like, but you just said,
yeah, when
kill your whole family, and no one can know.
I mean, yeah, was he like out and about? Did he like sign autographs after that, or was he like in disguise and like?
No, he was just
not wanting to be seen.
He was just a dude. I think because there was a statue of him, clearly like him as like an enlisted man. I think it was supposed to be like, and he died in 1980 or whatever.
Yeah.
Like pretending
that he's still dead. But
Winter
he
was
Soldier,
just
right?
there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's in like Winter Soldier too, where Cap like goes to the Captain America Museum and is like in disguise because he's a wanted man and shit like that. Like, so yeah, I feel like that might be a bit of a, like he was just still going to pretend to be dead, but also now there's at least like a memory of him that can be shared, even though he still realizes that he has to go into hiding and not let the U.S. government know that he's alive.
That was the thing, and you're like, yeah, they'll always remember you, but yeah, your wife still died when you were in prison, and you don't have any family except for your nephew, and you have to stay in your house all the time, and
he should probably be in a country without extradition, right? Like he shouldn't be in the United States.
Get the fuck out of there.
It feels like if a government knows that you're dead, or that like if you are alive, they need to eliminate you. You should probably go to another country that does not extradite to the country that wants you dead. Like that does seem like baseline fugitive survival tactic.
My guy, you can do an Assange. Like, okay, don't do the sexual assault part of doing an Assange, but like you can just leave.
Or don't be a public figure. Like, if you go to a country that does not extradite to the United States and just live as like a fucking random person in that country, you'll be fine. Like you will not be caught. If you then go on to be a Julian Assange type, like trying to bill yourself as a Christ-like sacrificial character, it might catch up to you. Like it might end up catching up to you a little bit. But if you're just insert random name in a random Eastern Bloc country, like you'll be fine, fam. Like
Well, Andrew, I'm sorry the show ended up being more of a mixed bag when you definitely seemed to be pretty hot on it at the start. Ryan, what have you been checking out?
Horizon Zero Dawn. I played like the tutorial, and I haven't played anything since we talked about it on the podcast last.
All right.
I think that's it. And YouTube videos.
Fair. Any good ones?
There was a YouTube video that made me just fucking die laughing of the fight scene from the climax of The Matrix where Neo is fighting Agent Smith in the subway station. And there is a moment in the fight where Neo punches Agent Smith and Agent Smith catches his fist, but it's right in front of Agent Smith's throat. So Neo extends his fingers into his throat and it makes Agent Smith go, and like someone cut the fight so that every single time Neo punches him, it splices in this, and there's like 40 punches in this fight, so it just keeps like just constant like throat needling with your fingers. I don't know. And I fucking died. Like I was wheezing. Like I could not catch my breath with how fucking ridiculously bad it got me. So I don't know. I can send you guys a link to that, although I kind of spoiled the conceit. Because at first you're just like, oh, they did the same bit, and then you start to catch on that like, nah, this dude fucked with this scene a little bit. So I don't know. That's my fucking breakout. Jesus Christ. What has my media diet become?
No.
And playing more Madden and FIFA. So like things that don't have narratives. But Andrew could talk about his Madden narrative that is developing, because that's fucking classic.
Yeah. I mean, my media consumption right now is probably along the same lines as Ryan, except for probably a little less television. Playing Horizon Zero Dawn in basically God mode. And yeah, I kind of forgot that like the story of this game for me works so much because there's basically two stories happening at the same time. The current story and then being told through, I mean, as part of the main story and cutscenes and stuff, but also through environmental storytelling, learning what happened thousands of years ago before the world went to shit.
Yeah.
And I think it works really well. But yeah, playing Madden, struggling. I'm 1-4 this season, I think. Or is it 1-5? It might be 1-5. It's bad. And my quarterback recently cut off contract negotiations and said, I want to play for a different team next year. Because I offered him the fair market value and he said no, improve the salary and the bonus. And I did that and he's like, you know what, fuck you. I don't want to play for the Packers anymore. So I traded him to the Falcons, who I had previously traded Jordan Love, my former quarterback, to, for Jordan Love. And Jordan Love's my quarterback again.
This man pulled a fucking switcheroo. I don't know if that's ever happened in NFL history with quarterbacks, where like you trade away a quarterback and then trade your current quarterback for that same quarterback to get him back.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know if that's ever happened.
I will say, Andrew, I'm glad you just traded him rather than leaking after years of knowing that he had been sexually assaulting a bunch of massage therapists. You're a class act.
Yeah.
Yeah, Andrew could have franchise tagged him. It wasn't completely game over for that quarterback, but I did love how you were like, oh, I don't want to sign a big expensive QB, and then you took on Jordan Love's contract. Although you did explain that apparently the Falcons pay the guaranteed money for this year, so you get a pretty good deal. But
Jordan Love is under contract for 4 more years, and he was making a little over $30 million a year. And I was going to have to pay my other quarterback, Kai Potts, about $35 million a year. Yeah, that's just what the market for quarterbacks is in Madden at this point.
In 7 years in the future, Madden, or whatever the fuck we are.
And when I traded for Jordan Love, because Madden is, not accurate all the time. It's a very oversimplification of how contracts and the NFL work. They had to pay off all of his guaranteed money in one go.
No, I don't think so.
Or, well, like, that was their penalty. That was their cap penalty that they took on. I'm pretty sure.
I think it's only for this year. I think next year you're going to have to pay
No, because once I got him, his cap hit for the next 4 years was about $32 million a year. I'm paying him next year and the year after that and the year after that and the year after that $18 million a year.
Fair enough.
So,
and then Andrew outlined plans to, when Jordan Love's contract expires, trading him for Kai Potts again. So if we make it 4 years into the future, there's a non-zero chance that Andrew just ends up with Kai Potts again. And just alternates between these two. I mean, Jordan Love's not fictional, but like he might as well be because he's never even suited up for an NFL game yet. So like alternating between these two fictional NFL quarterbacks for the entirety of our dynasty after one season of Aaron Rodgers.
It could happen.
No, it literally couldn't.
No, I mean in our franchise.
Oh, in our thing, sure. I thought you were saying in real life it could happen. You never know.
No fucking way.
So that was fun.
Yeah. I don't know. We're kind of basically in the group chat already. We'll say super quick, though. I finished Lisa the Painful. Terrific game. Everybody check it out. It's like $10 on Steam. I beat it in maybe 10.5 hours. So not a huge time sink. Really powerful. Really weird and interesting. You watching any more Final Space, Andrew? No? Okay. It was briefly really good, and now it's just kind of settled back into being, this is something to watch over lunch. Don't have my Twitter feed isn't very active, so nothing else to do. Might as well watch this. Have you guys ever seen the movie True Lies?
Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jamie Lee Curtis?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, no.
I watched it the other day. I'm not going to say it's bad for an 80s action flick, but boy, is the theme of the movie kind of, well, this Jamie Lee Curtis broad doesn't realize how good she has it.
I think that's pretty common.
Yeah.
I want to hear what good for an 80s action flick is for you.
There's a sequence, there's about a minute-long sequence where Arnold Schwarzenegger is, like, sneaking around. It's like he was caught by terrorists, but he escaped, and now he's just kind of sneaking around. And he just keeps snapping dudes' necks.
That reminds me, I think it's Key and Peele, right?
Yeah.
A sketch where he's just going around the complex and he's doing nothing but snapping everyone's neck. Like,
no, and it's just that.
It's probably parodying that, yeah.
He's not even trying to escape. He's just
he just wants them all.
He's trying to 100% this game.
Yeah, it's like Hitman when people are like the YouTube videos that are like clickbait, like I killed everyone on this level, and it's just a pile, like a mountain of human bodies. Like,
yeah, I just not stalking around corners. Sees a bad dude facing away, dead. Nothing to it. He does. Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Bad guy probably has a gun, but he's choosing to continue to only snap necks.
Yep. Arnold Schwarzenegger, like he is in most of his movies, just absolutely jacked, but also incredibly acrobatic for some reason. So he does that thing where he wraps his leg around a rope attached to the ceiling and just like slides down on that. And that just happens to put him right behind a guy. So then just reach out, snaps that dude's neck.
He's Spider-Man kisses,
yeah,
but breaking necks. Like his head is perfectly positioned for a kiss, but instead he just quick snap of the neck.
Yeah. And then kind of to your point,
here I go killing again.
And then kind of to your point, Andrew, the ultimate bad guys in this movie just end up being generic Middle Eastern terrorists in a way that has not aged very well, considering what happened in the early 2000s, and it's still happening now. But they make a point of like, well, the U.S. government is destroying our homelands and raping and murdering our women and killing our children, and we're going to threaten you guys with nukes until you stop doing that. And like, Arnold Schwarzenegger is like, oh yeah, these are some evil dudes. We got to stop them, my wife. And it's like, well, hold on. They're making some pretty good points. What's the U.S. government been doing in the Middle East in this universe? Is it what they did in the real universe?
Isn't in one of the Rambos, it's like dedicated to the brave Mujahideen fighters of, and it's just like, ooh, that one did not age properly. Like,
and then, so then Arnold Schwarzenegger more or less single-handedly kills all of the terrorists. But then, oh man, one of them took a nuclear launch thing and kidnapped his daughter, and it's like on the other side of Florida, I guess. So then
turns into Taken.
Yeah. So then he just hops into a fighter jet. And of course he knows how to fly that. Of course he perfectly knows
There's
how
no
to
way
fly
he'd
that.
fit in a cockpit.
Was he in the Air Force, his character?
I think there's a line.
Because there is a 0% chance that he would know how to fly a fighter jet if he was not actively a member of the Air Force.
CIA or something?
Yeah, he was a spy.
There's just no fucking way
there's a
you would
line
have
of
access
dialogue.
to that hardware.
There's a line of dialogue that's like, oh, it's been 10 years since we got trained on these things. You don't know what you're doing anymore. But nope, he's totally fine.
Trained on these things. Yeah, unless the training on these things was like 5 straight years of flying every single day.
Just one of those times it should end properly where, like, he is brazenly attempting to do this thing that he shouldn't and, like, is able to get it off the ground but is not able to utilize the machine properly, and it fails miserably and crashes into the ocean or some shit.
Okay, I can get the joystick working. I know I'm not going to be able to land this thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to point this thing out into the ocean, and you and the heads are going to tell me how to eject.
Yeah.
And eventually this thing will just go in the water.
This $2 billion machine will crash into the water. Because I had to get to Florida.
Yeah, like one way or another, this thing's getting destroyed. Either I'm going to be in it or I won't be.
Yeah. What's my value as an asset to the United States government? Because this thing's going down no matter what. So if you're talking math, might as well keep me alive.
Yeah. So that was an interesting watch.
It's 1994, by the way. This is not an 80s movie.
Oh, wow. Might be. Oh, wow.
This came out the same year as Pulp Fiction and Shawshank Redemption.
Oh, boy. It was big. I'm sorry. Jamie Lee Curtis got her start in the Halloween movie, and I think I was remembering when that movie came out.
No, that's fair. If you told me True Lies, the movie starring Jamie Lee Curtis and Arnold Schwarzenegger, was an 80s action movie, yeah, I would never in a million years question it. I just went to the Wikipedia to see if I could find if this guy was in the Air Force. And then saw it came out in 1994, and I'm like, ooh, that's not...
Yeah.
Not even close. That's rough for a 94 movie.
Thank you for catching me on that.
Also, It's based on a movie called La Totale, which is a French comedy film.
Yeah, it says True Lies is a 1994 American action comedy film. So maybe the scene where he's just snapping a bunch of people's necks, maybe it's supposed to be
meant to be as funny as it is. That's fair. I mean, it's based on a bona fide comedy, it sounds like, so...
I mean, yeah, I don't know. It doesn't read like that. Maybe I don't know.
He's not a CIA agent. He's from a U.S. intelligence agency named Omega Sector.
Jesus. This may have come out in 1994, but I think this is the most 80s movie.
It is a fictionalized U.S. government thing. They learned of the existence of a Palestinian terrorist group known as the Crimson Jihad, led by Salim Abu Aziz. Damn.
Yeah, no. Fuck.
Omega Sector versus Crimson Jihad. I don't...
All right, we're pretty much in the wind down. Thank you all so much for listening to episode 141 of the Voluntary Viewing podcast, which is more than likely going to be titled 40 Pizzas in 30 Days. If you liked what you heard, like, comment, subscribe, etc. Check us out on Patreon and support us. If you're feeling generous, you'll be joining the likes of the terrific Tiffany Cole, Sucky Badger, and sensual Richard Nixon. Email us your questions and business opportunities, voluntaryviewing@gmail.com. Check us out on YouTube and Instagram, where Andrew uploads highlight clips of our best bits of either podcast. Follow us on Twitter at V2_podcast for updates. Follow me on Twitter at LucasDeRider to keep up with all of my writing. And check out the ActBlue link in the description down below if you want to help a collection of great causes. Any other fun tidbits from the True Lies Wikipedia page, Ryan?
Yeah, fucking lot. While filming on a horse, a camera boom hit the horse, and Schwarzenegger was on the horse, and it started like spinning and freaking out, and it was right next to a cliff that was a drop of 90 feet, and Arnold Schwarzenegger like jumped the fuck off the horse, and it doesn't say what happened to the horse, but that horse either fell to its death or just everything was fine, and Arnold Schwarzenegger maybe overreacted, but anyway. True Lies was the first movie in history to have a production budget of over $100 million.
Yep.
It costed between $100 and $120 million, which is a lot by modern standards. Like, a $100 million movie is an expensive movie today. And this is fucking 27 years ago when that'd be more like a $300 million movie.
Granted, this is movie magic, but they really make it seem like they blew up I think it's the Florida-Pensacola Bridge. Yeah.
Yeah. Eliza Dushku revealed that when she was 12 making the movie, think she played Arnold Schwarzenegger's daughter. She was sexually molested by the film's stunt coordinator, who ironically might have been the guy who saved Arnold Schwarzenegger when he jumped off the horse. Because he says, this is why I always love stunt people, is because a stunt guy caught him when he jumped off the horse. Could have been this guy. And then when she told an adult about it, that adult confronted the stunt coordinator. And then that same day, she got injured while he was like coordinating a stunt that she was performing. So
Jesus.
Yeah.
What the?
A lot of shit going on.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a ballroom dancing scene that closes the film, and it takes place in the Crystal Ballroom, the Millennium Biltmore Hotel, which I stayed in when I was working at the Emmys.
Huh.
So, if you remember the ballroom dancing scene, I was at that place. I don't fucking know, man. A lot of weird shit going on.
Take that energy. Take that weird shit energy, everyone. Enjoy your weeks, and good luck out there.